Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Damon Mullis, and I am the Riverkeeper and Executive Director here at Ogeechee Riverkeeper. Welcome to our 2020 annual meeting and fall fundraiser. This year has been challenging in so many ways. We've all been affected in our personal and professional lives. Here at Ogeechee Riverkeeper, like all organizations, we've had to change and adapt to these challenges. I hope 2021 brings some normality and we can hold our fall oyster roast. I look forward to seeing you all and celebrating our beautiful watershed in person as soon as possible. But even through the pandemic and all the other challenges that 2020 has thrown our way, I am happy to announce the Ogeechee Riverkeeper has remained strong and continued to work toward our mission of protecting, improving, and restoring the water quality of our basin. And with your continued support, we will remain strong well into the future, regardless of what challenges are ahead. Thank you all for your support. Our next speaker, Janisse Ray, is going to share some words inspired by the Ogeechee Basin. Janisse is an environmental poet, writer, advocate, and has been inducted into the Georgia Writers Hall of Fame. I'm so excited and grateful to have her join us this evening.
What crime could a great blue heron commit? Trespassing in swamp, among duck potato and wild rice, coveting what she does not possess, for example, the great open flower of sky, taking what belongs to the otter? What crime? Speaking out in gray fog, fording night to navigate the perfect temper of tides, scoring mudflats with graffiti, admiring a mate's blue-gray plumage, loving indiscriminately, loving freely, or fleeing a scene, sailing high and easy up the mid-course of an American river, claiming all tributaries, worshiping gods of the slough, building altars of pearl snail shells, offering piety to the alligator, exonerating the water snake, not believing in numbers, keeping company with the moon. Thank you so much for being here today to register your love for this great southern river, the Ogeechee, river of the Uchee, river of life, river of darkness, Mama River. Thank you. What happens when you break off a piece of nature? Any piece of nature broken off immediately begins to degrade. The same thing happens to us. When we are broken, we degrade. What has happened to the Ogeechee can be called a collective trauma, like the pandemic. But the past cannot be forgotten, because something happened against the body of life. But we know it's not the trauma, but how we respond to it that affects the outcomes. Healing requires being deeply committed first to stopping the perpetrators, Milliken's permit violations, litter flowing downstream, clear cutting. It means pushing for detox of the entire system, the resource extraction, the economics. It means accelerating human consciousness toward a massive, very needed shift, which is education. Collective trauma requires collective healing, and this is done in community. Community is not an ideology. It is a group of human beings. It is us. Our river has a wonderful immune system. It has the capacity to heal. It has a safety net. We are that. Robert Frost wrote, "Here are your waters and your watering place. Drink and be whole again, beyond confusion." May we drink and be whole again. May our sight broaden beyond the trees, beyond future generations, into infinity. May we sit on a bank with peace flooding our bodies. May we hover between effort and effortlessness. May we be in the moment we have. Thank you, Ogeechee River. Except gratitude is more than saying, I'm thankful for all the beautiful things that bring us joy and give us life. Gratitude is what we do. For this, we don't need to be more than we are. We need to be right where we are and take our next step. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Kirsten Parent. I am a board member. I've been on the board for a few years now, and I'd like to thank everybody for coming virtually as it may be. We've got a great program for tonight I'm really excited about. A little business first. So we've got a couple of board members that are cycling off this year, Mark Dallas and Tim Goodson. I just want to thank both of you. I know we all want to thank you for your years of dedicated service. You guys have really put in time and effort and so many hours in the car and have just been a really, really great part of our organization, and you will be missed dearly. I'd like to welcome Catherine Cummings. On the program, you're going to hear Damon elaborate on what's going on with the EPD and Milliken. I will let him get into all of those details, but on a very high level, I just wanted to remind everyone that we've got a really big fight ahead of us. I mean, there's going to be attorney fees and sampling that needs to be done. We're going to need to be hiring and have already hired some outside experts. And the fundraising to make all this happen is going to be a challenge for us. So really, I ask you tonight, as you are buying raffle tickets or as you're thinking about writing checks, just really keep Milliken in mind. I mean, 2011 was a really awful year for our river, and we just want to make sure that that never can happen again. For a little board business, so for this coming year, we're going to have Ann Hartzell as our board chair, Clay Mobley as our vice chair. We're going to have Michael Dayub as our treasurer, and Catherine Cummings is going to be the secretary. I would like to thank you all for voting me in as board member at large. I'm honored. Thank you very much. I would also like to take this moment to thank our members. Your membership is incredibly important to us. It's not just the financial contribution. Numbers matter. When we're going to the legislature or we're going in front of a judge, being able to say how many people, how many families we're actually representing is really key. So our numbers are very strong. We're always looking to grow. So invite your friends, invite your family, and thank you very much. Okay, I would also like to take a moment to thank our sponsors. Without you, none of this would be possible. I'd like to thank everyone who donated to our raffle. We've got some just amazing opportunities to be outside, some art, just really great things. So thank you very much. And lastly, I'd like to really thank all of our members. It is just wonderful to see such membership growth.
Thank you, Kirsten, and thank you to all of our great board members. We couldn't do our work without your tireless dedication to this organization and our amazing watershed. I want to take a few minutes and update our members on some of the exciting projects we're working on, successes we've had over the last year, and ways you can get involved. First, I want to congratulate the citizens of Screven County that organized and beat back a proposed regional landfill. This landfill would have been built within 3 miles of the Ogeechee River and alongside Brady Branch. If built, this regional landfill would have been in an unsuitable area geologically and literally would have resulted in a mountain of imported pollution that would have threatened the Ogeechee, local streams, and the groundwater that so many in the area use for drinking. It was inspiring to see citizens mobilize, organize to protect their local waters, and Ogeechee Riverkeeper was privileged to help in the effort. It was truly a great victory and something that all of us that treasure the Ogeechee should celebrate. Great job. Another great victory this year was the passage of Amendment 1 that was on this year's ballot. For years, Ogeechee Riverkeeper, along with our partners at the Georgia Water Coalition, have been fighting for trust fund honesty in the state of Georgia. For far too long, 40% of the fees collected for tire and hazardous waste cleanups have been diverted by our state legislators to the general operating budget. Think about that. Almost half the fees we've all been paying for these cleanups were used for other purposes. But now that problem will be fixed. Amendment 1 changes the Georgia Constitution to require that the fees go towards their intended purpose and pass with over 80% approval by Georgia voters. A rare bipartisan victory, and will result in millions of dollars for illegal dumps and hazardous waste sites to be cleaned up. Every Georgia should be proud. This past year, we have also stepped up our plastic and litter prevention and reduction efforts. Plastic and litter are not only unsightly, but are also a serious pollution problem once they enter into our waterways. They leach out toxins impacting our natural ecosystems and break down into microscopic pieces that find their way into shellfish and other organisms we regularly consume. Once they enter into our oceans, they harm sea turtles and other animals that mistake them as food. This form of pollution entering our waterways and food systems pose a real threat to human health and our ecosystems, and we must start addressing the issue on many fronts. Our efforts will not only focus on collecting plastic and litter, but also reducing the amount in our environment through education and outreach efforts and many other avenues. We have recently partnered with the City of Statesboro, Keep Statesboro Bullet Beautiful, and many others to start a litter collection and reduction program in the area. We're calling it Don't Litter Lots. In addition to cleanups and educational components, this project has deployed a litter trap in Little Lots Creek to collect the pollution as it leaves the city before it makes its way downstream. We have plans to launch a similar project in the Vernon River watershed in Savannah in the coming year and hope to expand it in many other municipalities throughout our watershed in the future. So if you want to volunteer and help launch similar projects where you live, please contact us. You can learn more and how to contact us at our website, ogeecheeriverkeeper.org. Another project that we're really excited about is the relaunch of the Vernon River Water Quality Project. This is a collaboration with the City of Savannah and many other entities and people. The Vernon is a coastal river located in Chatham County and drains approximately 33% of the City of Savannah. The river has been listed as an impaired water body by Georgia EPD due to high concentrations of bacterial levels. The goal of this project is to improve bacterial levels and water quality in the basin to the point it can be delisted as impaired. From past research, we know that causes and sources of contamination are varied and complex. The bacterial sources include wildlife, pets, and human waste, and vary depending on location. This project will break down the watershed into small areas and do extensive sampling and investigations to determine contamination sources and what actions need to be taken to address them. We will also update the watershed management plan for this basin to also address plastic and litter pollution, as I mentioned earlier. There will be many opportunities for volunteers to help with this project as we move forward. If you want to stay informed about this project or any of our other work, please go to our website and sign up for email notifications and our monthly newsletter. The largest threat to water quality and the health of the Ogeechee River and its estuary is Milliken. And we need your help. I'll start with a little history. In 2011, discharges into the Ogeechee River from the King American Finnish Company's textile plant, now owned by Milliken, led to one of the largest fish kills in Georgia's history. Fish perished along more than 80 miles downstream of the facility's discharge pipe, and anglers, boaters, swimmers were warned to stay out of the water. While public outcry was immediate, the reaction of state regulators was something less than urgent. Georgia EPD was slow in response and weak in its punishment for the company's blatant violations of clean water laws. It took a federal lawsuit brought by Ogeechee Riverkeeper to force King America to agree to take steps that would ensure the protection of the Ogeechee. Now, almost a decade later, the facility's current owners have failed to comply with their original permit that resulted from the settlement with the facility and the state of Georgia. Today, the company routinely violates pollution control standards and has had a minimum of 25 Clean Water Act violations since its current permit was issued in 2014. What's more, we now know that Milliken misled state regulators and the public about which toxic pollutants it discharges into the river. Unbelievably, Georgia EPD recently released a draft permit for the facility that is poised to weaken its regulations and oversight. The draft permit eliminates constituents from the permit, including formaldehyde, THPC, which is a flame retardant chemical, peroxides, and others. It also reduces the frequency that the facility must test for other harmful chemicals, all while the facility regularly violates its current permit. The facility's unwillingness to invest the necessary resources to operate within its permit is not an excuse to weaken it. In fact, Georgia EPD's enforcement actions for all the Clean Water Act violations have obviously been insufficient. They continue to violate. Language in the draft permit also suggests that EPD use the facility's aspirational production volumes to inform the new draft permit. We are categorically opposed to using the facility's production desires in determining permit limitations. The permit should be based on what is needed to protect the river, not facilities' production levels. In addition, in 2014, after we reached the settlement with King America, the facility was required to conduct a study to determine if the facility was discharging PFAS chemicals. PFAS are called forever chemicals because they don't break down very easily in the environment and they hang around for a very long time. Studies have linked these chemicals to numerous health problems, including cancer, impacts to immune and hormone systems, and many others, including cholesterol and birth defects. Humans can be exposed to these chemicals by eating contaminated fish. So, in preparation for Milliken's new permit review, Ogeechee Riverkeeper conducted an extensive investigation to determine what Milliken was discharging into the river. That investigation showed that, in fact, the company was releasing significant amounts of PFAS chemicals. We went back and reviewed the test that was submitted and accepted by Georgia EPD back in 2014 that showed that the facility was not discharging these chemicals, and we determined it was insufficient. We now believe the facility has been discharging these chemicals since 2006. We're looking into it. But at this point, no one knows what levels of these chemicals are in the fish and how widespread contamination may be. Georgia EPD has the authority and should require the fish tissue study to be done. It should have been done in 2014 and it should be done now. We are requesting that Georgia EPD require this study be done before a new permit is issued, and that the information gathered in this study be used to regulate the facility's discharges of these dangerous chemicals. You can help us with this effort. Please attend a public meeting next Tuesday, November 17th at 7 p.m. and let EPD know you are concerned about this issue. Georgia EPD is also hosting this meeting virtually because of COVID. In addition, please submit public comments opposing this draft permit by November 20th. Information about these are on our website, along with much more information about this issue. We have a copy of the current permit, we have a copy of the draft permit, and we have a document that compares the two, showing what they're trying to remove and what they're trying to reduce sampling frequency of. Visit ogeecheeriverkeeper.org and click on the Milliken tab. Let your voice be heard. Help us get EPD to strengthen this draft permit. Require the fish tissue study before a new permit is issued. A lot is at stake with this permit. The health of our watershed, the health of the people that use our watershed, and trust in our regulatory apparatus. We need your help.
One more time.
Yeah, swayed it again. Sorry, I wasn't even.
Ring them bells, take 3.
I love this song. Play it over and over again. Oh, really?
I did that the other night. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Woo, that's how I drive. There goes Ray Ray.
Here we go.
Ring them bells, you heathen, for the city that dreams. Ring them bells from the sanctuaries across the valleys and streams. For they're deep and they're wide, and the world's on its side, and time is running backwards, and so is the bride. Ring them bells, St. Peter, where the four winds blow. Ring them bells with an iron hand, so the people will know it's rush hour now, on the wheel and the plow, and the sun is going down upon the sacred cow. Ring them bells for the blind and the dead. Ring them bells for all of us who are left. Ring them bells for the chosen few who will judge the many when the day is through. Ring them bells for the time that flies, for the child that cries when the innocence dies. Ring them bells, St. Catherine, from the top of the roof. Ring them bells from the fortress for the lilies that bloom. For the lands alone, and the fighting is strong, and they're breaking down the distance between a right and a wrong.
So I want to thank all of our great sponsors for this online annual event. We couldn't do it without folks like you and the folks at home that donate to us. All the work we do, the monitoring, the lab tests, it all takes money like any other organization. So thank you. Take a moment to look at our sponsors, patronize them. Thank you very much. Please take a moment and check out our really great raffle items this year. Every dollar spent on raffle tickets goes directly to our mission to protect, preserve, and improve the water quality of the Ogeechee Basin. Everything we do, from the lab tests to scientific equipment. It all costs money. So please check those out. We have a really great original piece by Betsy Kane, some really great trips to get out on the water, and lots of other really good things. So take a moment, check those out, and thank you for your support.